Tonight, our I-Team is exposing a new way scammers are trying to separate you from your hard-earned money.
A local businessman was contacted by someone who claimed to work for his bank about suspicious financial transactions.
Never before has a scammer been able to tell me, you know, what my banking history was.
It's called the cash bag scam.
If you use a debit card, have a bank account, or handle money in any way, you need to hear this right now. There's a scam spreading across the country that's wiping out people's savings in minutes. It's called the cash handoff scam, and it's costing victims $10, $20, sometimes even $30,000. Banks are now saying this isn't rare anymore. It's happening multiple times every single day. In fact, some bank managers say they stop 2 or 3 cases daily, and those are just the ones they catch in time. A small business owner who had been carefully tracking every dollar for decades suddenly got a text message. It looked official. It claimed to be from his bank. The message asked a simple question. Did you authorize this charge? The charge was for thousands of dollars at a store he'd never been to. He replied, no. Minutes later, his phone rang. The caller said they were from the bank's fraud department. They started reading off real transactions from his account.
I got a text message asking me if I had made charges.
The message, which appeared to be from Wells Fargo, asked if Harmon charged $2,800 at a Best Buy in San Francisco.
When I replied no, a couple minutes later, I got a call from Wells Fargo.
The person on the call read him a list of his recent banking transactions, including his mortgage payment.
They called off 3 or 4 transactions. Boom, boom, boom. And they were legitimate transactions that I had done. Never before has a scammer been able to tell me, you know, what my banking history was.
Mortgage payments, routine charges, amounts and dates that were 100% accurate. At that moment, there was no doubt in his mind. On a scale from 1 to 10, how sure was he that this was really his bank? Completely sure, but it wasn't. This is where the scam takes a turn. The caller warned him that multiple outgoing transfers were scheduled to leave his account. Money being sent to people he didn't know. They told him there might be an insider involved. Someone on the inside trying to steal his money. And they said they needed his help to stop it. That's when the pressure started. They told him he needed to go to a local branch the next morning, close his account, open a new one, and withdraw a large amount of cash to protect it.
I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm talking to the people from Wells Fargo.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sure were you that it was Wells Fargo?
At that moment, I was 100% sure it was them.
But it turns out it wasn't his bank.
Anybody is susceptible to a particular type of scam at any time. Anybody can fake any phone number.
This is how scammers win. They create urgency. They create fear. And they make you feel like waiting equals losing everything. When he arrived at the bank, the phone rang again. The caller stayed on the line. They told him exactly what to say to the teller. They instructed him to claim the cash was for a home renovation. They even asked him to keep the phone on so they could hear the conversation. That request alone was the biggest red flag.
They said, well, we're going to need you to come down to the bank tomorrow, close your account, open up a new account.
At that moment, they believe that they're in a crisis that needs this urgent action or they're going to lose their retirement.
Harmon told the caller he would go to a South Tampa Wells Fargo branch the next morning. The scammer called as he arrived at the bank, telling him to withdraw $15,000 in cash, inform the teller he needed it for a renovation, and bring the money to the parking lot.
Then they said, we need you to keep your phone on while you're going into the bank so we can hear everything that's said. That was the biggest red flag. She handed me a withdrawal slip. She said, I need you to fill that out. I turned the withdrawal slip over, wrote on it, I think I'm being scammed. I handed it to her.
She got the manager, who told Harmon to hang up. Harmon said the manager told him about another customer who lost $10,000 days earlier in a similar scam.
Cybersecurity experts say this kind of scam can fool anyone because scammers don't guess anymore. They spoof real phone numbers. They buy leaked personal data. They access transaction histories through compromised systems.
These cash bag scams where people go to the bank, get the cash, hand it or mail it to somebody, I've never heard of any of that being retrieved. It's gone forever.
Grimes says he was recently questioned at his own bank when he made a large withdrawal.
The bank manager came up to him and said, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure you're not being scammed. We stop 2 to 3 a day. So imagine that one bank branch is stopping 2 to 3 of these, what I call cash bag scams a day, and multiply that by the many tens of thousands of bank branches we have.
So when they talk to you, they don't sound like criminals. They sound informed. And the more details they give you about your own life, the more your brain relaxes and says, this must be real. That's the trap. Here's the reality you need to remember. Real banks do not ask customers to withdraw cash to protect it. If anyone tells you to withdraw cash urgently, hand it to someone, deposit it into a safe account, or meet someone outside the bank, it is a scam. Nothing legitimate with money happens at high speed.
I bet it's tens of thousands of people a day that are being scammed this way.
They wouldn't be opening these call centers if they didn't make money.
Yeah, and it's just, to them, it's a full-time business.
Organized crime now. This is not individual one-off scammers, criminals. It's your money. So you have the ability to do what you want to do with your money. And so it's a challenging thing. That's exactly what the banks are training their personnel to deal with.
Why do you think it's important that people know about all this?
I just think we need to be sharing information because there's so much crazy stuff going on out there.
If you get an unexpected message, a phone call, an email, a text message, you weren't expecting it, so it comes to you and it's asking you to do something you've never done before, that's a high-risk message. And at that point, especially if it has a sense of urgency about it, slow down and start to do research.
So let's break down the scam playbook step by step. It usually starts with a text message. That message always includes a phone number. Once you call or reply, they move to step 2, a phone call from someone claiming to be your bank's fraud department. They already know your name. They already know recent transactions. They repeat exact amounts and dates to earn your trust. Then comes step 3. They create urgency. They tell you money is about to be lost, that time is critical, that you need to act immediately. And finally, step 4, they instruct you to move money, withdraw cash, or secure it elsewhere. Once that happens, they disappear. So how do you protect yourself? Rule number 1, never trust a call or text about your money without verifying it yourself. If you get a message like this, do not use the number they give you.
It was too hard to get the money in there than to just walk in there and get it and bring it out to somebody.
There are also things you can do right now to reduce your risk. Turn on transaction alerts for withdrawals, transfers, and large purchases. Use your bank's official app for secure messages instead of texts. Set daily withdrawal limits if you don't need large amounts of cash. Enable two-factor authentication on all financial accounts. Never store sensitive information like social security numbers in your phone notes. And if you run a business or share finances with family, teach them these same rules. Scammers don't target intelligence. They target access. If you're already on a call and something feels off, use this exact line and hang up. I'm going to end this call and contact my bank directly using the number on my card.